What's up, everybody? It's Osahon Tongo, man. I'm super excited to bring this to you. I've curated all these conversations and these special moments that I've had with friends, and I want to get it out to you guys because it's just some fly shit. And it's very, very enlightening that you can learn some cool things from people that actually, vibe with you, that are on your frequency. So this episode, I sat down with Jason Sneed and we were kicking it at Bella's crib. Shout out In Bed with Bella. Make sure you guys watch that on YouTube. But sat down with Jason Sneed and really got to go into how he manifests the reality that he's living right now. It's a lifestyle alchemy that is going on, and I saw it firsthand. Saw it from being in a place where you're kind of lost, kind of doing different things, trying to figure it out, all the way to being a sign model and an actor and curating concerts for Airbnb. It's very hard to be a creative entrepreneur and doing your artwork and doing different things that are super creative and not having a schedule or office to go to is something that we all dream about. But, this is someone who actually did it, and he's literally saying the step-by-step process of how he was able to manifest the reality that he wanted to live in, make the amount of money that he wanted to make, and how he's going to move forward in that. So please listen, enjoy, and then let me know what you think about it. So, so what I want to know is because we're talking about how you could just change whatever you want to change, right? Mm-hmm. So what were your steps to the alchemy that you did with your life?
So the culmination of everything when you went to the Hawaii, I was just doing photography full time, freelance, and making $300 here, and really trying to get this big shoot or something for $10,000 hopefully one day, but realistically, I was doing maybe 5, hopefully 6 shoots, but surviving, paying rent, doing all those different things, I would find myself just chasing rent I feel like every day was how am I going to make rent? When I finally got rent, it was all right, I got to make rent again because I'm already 2 weeks behind.
Yeah.
And now it's 2 weeks to the next month, right? It was a vicious cycle. And it kind of came to a point where it was on my sister's birthday. She was born July 3rd. She had this 4th of July party. And I didn't eat all day, and I was just drinking heavy and just kind of she saw through me, my sister,
Yeah.
and had an intervention with me. And that was probably, and I was still in denial. I've been in denial for a long time, and it was just something about, it wasn't a normal intervention. It wasn't just her pulling me to the side.
Yeah.
She got my whole family together. We had my mom and dad haven't spoken to each other in years.
Yeah.
To the point where now because they knew I wouldn't accept help.
Uh-huh.
I'm in that space where I just wouldn't accept help from anybody and wouldn't tell them that I needed help. Mm-hmm. They were conspiring to helping each other, give me groceries and shit. It was weird, but it brought my family together. Mm-hmm. And because I saw how hard she went to get me to make a point about something that I was going through, and I knew I was going through, but I wasn't dealing with it. It finally got me to listen to myself and kind of address where I was at mentally, and really the depression that I was in. I was really, 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 really depressed to the point where not even self-sabotage. I was I wouldn't even say suicidal, but it was in that space of just not wanting to be, which is whatever. So the first thing that happened was just me realizing that I wasn't good. Yeah. Step one, I was just accepted the fact. Yeah, I just accepted the fact that this shit wasn't sweet. Yeah. Shit was sour as hell. Yeah. And that was my truth in that moment. And so after making that realization or accepting the realization of what was, I had to then make a choice to do what was in my control to like make myself better, which was clearing my space. So that was step 2. Acceptance was first. Clearing my space was step 2. At the time I was seeing, there was a girl staying with me. I had somebody living with me who needed a spot to crash, didn't have any family out here, you know what I mean? And, you know, we had already built a relationship, like, you know, but she wasn't
bring your frequency down.
Way down. You know, because I have a certain level of awareness, but like if I'm trying to teach somebody else and I'm like in a space where like I'm, you know, you really just bringing me down, man. It's really that simple. The relationship just was not benefiting me, and I had to, which was hard for me. It was very hard for me because, you know, caveat, you know, I was homeless at one point, right, and needed people to be able to do certain things for me, and I know how that felt at that time. So I've always wanted to pay that forward. Anytime I want to pay that forward. But in this particular case, in order for me to be the best me that I can be and help other people, I had to be selfish and clear my space. So, you know, I had to say you have to go stay with friends, you know, and really in that. And really clean my space, you know, and sage my space. And I just finally felt able to take a deep breath. And, you know, I had been reading all these like different whether it's called a self-help book or listening to these audios. There's certain levels of truth to all of this, and we see the consistencies in all these different things. Right. So I knew that I had to feel better. I knew that being the case with all of them, you have to feel better. So like, how do I do that? So for me, it was using my imagination to put myself in certain scenarios before I went to sleep and when I woke up that made me feel good.
To visualize.
I had to visualize myself in a relative successful position, and feel what it is. Like genuinely feel what it feels like.
What were you thinking about though? What were you like? Was it like, I feel like fly in a dope ass what?
Yeah. It was definitely more of like almost like how would you feel walking into like a like I don't want to say a club or a party, but like walking into a space where you're dressed how you want to be dressed, you're immaculate, like you just feel good. So when I say that or when I feel that, there's to me, a status symbol associated with it is a symbol of power, right? A level of like economic or financial stability there. There's a level of style, of creative expression through clothes, being charismatic, you know, having a sexual prowess, right? There's all those things involved when it comes to that feeling. And that's what I was like kind of focused on, like, man, who do I want to be? What do I want to feel like? What is that like? And then kind of like, I started moving myself up the scale of like from depression to, you know, being content almost. And from being content to like, you know what, like, all right, like, yeah, okay, man, like, let me go enjoy the sun today. You know, just started little by little, I started being able to appreciate more and more of just the things around me. And because I was focused on when I was going to sleep and when I was waking up, I was kind of feeling better throughout the day. Or even if I didn't, I would go to sleep feeling good. And then I got a random DM that was, long story short, for this Acura shoot. And I got another opportunity to go to Peru to shoot this documentary. The Acura shoot was paid, the Peru trip wasn't. And so I'm like, man, I'm attracting all these like blessings and everything. Like, all right, like, yeah, we're getting there. But then I had to make another choice. I had to like, you know, kind of get clear within myself. And I was doing a lot of writing at this time too. So I would practice like, well, basically I would write everything that I wanted down. Yeah. And then I'm like, well, what do I honestly believe that I can have in the next 6 months? And then was kind of going from there. So
did you have like a journal or you had like a lot of Different note cards and shit.
So, I lost my journal. And I like to have a journal. So it kind of feels weird to like write personal shit and something that's like impersonal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like you don't even want to keep this thing. So like, but these thoughts I want to keep. So it was like piecemeal, different journals and notebooks, but like I would write down sporadic thoughts, but it wouldn't be like real personal shit. So and to this day I still don't have a journal. I need to go get a fucking journal. But I would write down some certain lists. Lists were cool for me in the space of this particular journal or thing, you know. So that's what I was focused on, just list at that time. And so when these two different opportunities came up, and for me, Peru was something like, man, I really want to go and get out. And the accuracy was like, all right, it's more superficial, right? But I'm like, I'm really thinking about, honestly, what I want to feel. One, I want to make money. I've been thinking about that. This is paying me. That was one of the situations. Two, it's like, well, this is the space that I honestly want to be in. This is the trajectory I want to be in. One of the things on my list, I wanted to be signed. I wanted to like be modeling, acting, those types of things that are on this list. So I'm like, well, the universe is bringing me this. I know these two opportunities are good. So like, again, let me like be intentional about what I want. So I went for that. And so mind you, still living kind of not even check to check. It was just like shoot to shoot. I'm trying to like hustle, like really scrapping to try to make money. And so that was the first big bulk of money that I had made in a very long time. So to get myself again, like investing back into my peace, I decided to pay 2 months rent at one time, to then at least have like say 3 weeks of just like working myself back to a space of like I'm good financially, almost like really lying to myself.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I got 3 weeks to tell myself a lie every day and eventually believe it. That's kind of like what I was going into. That's kind of like the that was the mission when I like paid the money. Like, yo, this is the mission. I'm about to really get myself to believe this shit. Like for real. And the shit low key started to work. I just started to feel better about everything. Yeah. And literally, I was saying like maybe. Cause there was a certain moment when I woke up one day, like, yeah, low key, like, nah, I believe this shit. Like, yeah, I feel good. Like, I feel great. Yeah. You know, and I started working on this project that I did for free. And I was really devoted to, and it was that flying video too was in that time frame. Okay. Cause it kind of it blurred over the course of it, but I was like really doing my best at just creating. And doing it for the love. And before that, every other project that I was working on, I was doing it for money. So I started to get jaded even with my art. Like, I like doing this shit, but like, man, I don't even feel like doing this. I got to do your whack ass idea for money. Yeah. So like, this is the first time I could really dive into a creative project. And I was like, nah, fuck money, because I got it. You know what I mean? I got money. I'm good. Like, I ain't at least got to worry about this shit. You know? So I'm like, let me go in. Let me like really, really start going in and applying myself. And so it was a mix between the lies that became truth, or I started getting faith in the things that I said that I wanted. I guess that's a different way of putting the same thing. Yeah. And me being in the space of like, it's not about the money. I know I'm gonna get the money. Yeah. I'm gonna just create, because this is what I would do if I had money right now. Right. If I was chilling right now, like I say I am, I would do this project. So let me take on this project, right? And literally overnight. So my homie Bijan told me about this. We went up to like random castings and shit. On Tuesdays I do castings in LA for models. And so we went up to LA models and went up to this other thing and like whatever. I don't know if I'm gonna hear back or not. And he was like, yo, you should Wikipedia this dude named Omar Alberto, right? He used to be this popping agent. I'm over here reading up on him and shit. Like, oh man, this is crazy. Oh, this dude is fly, man. He's really like a part of some really big shit back in the day. Like he was the man back in the day. And so kid you not, like 2 days later, I get a text from Carl, who runs Cross Colors, right? Who I'm staying with. And he was like, yo, you need to pull up here. Just pull up. Like, just trust me, pull up. So I get there. This is Fly House by Eric on Moss. This is his only residential property, and I know him because I love his style of architecture. And get in. It's just like a vibe, like older people or whatever, but like everybody's just fly. And it's this dude cooking plantains and shit, platanos and everything. And he looks, and then this woman, tall woman, she's like 6'1", looks. She taps him. She's like, "Oh, Omar." She has this like crazy thick accent, and she was like, "You're crazy. You're crazy." He looks at me. He's cooking this shit. He looks at me again. He's like, okay. And I mind you, I just walk in. And then she was like, he's gonna be like the Jaiman. He kept on saying his name. Jaiman was a guy who was in what's this shit called? Amistad.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Okay,
So apparently he had a similar story to where like nobody was really fucking with him, but when he got picked up, he blew up.
Yeah.
And Omar was his agent.
Okay.
So now he got him on.
Yeah.
You know? So he's gonna be Jaiman. He's gonna be like a Jaiman or whatever. He's looking at me. He's like, "All right, man, you gotta look." He was like, "When you sent me your pictures the other day, like I thought they were crappy." So I'm like thinking, I sent the pictures. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I forgot that Carl had told me to email this dude named Omar before. As the conversation went on, I saw that it was the same fucking Omar that I was just Wikipedia or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Just did a Google search
you like
on.
manifested
the situation.
Yeah.
So he was like, "Yo," so we started like going in talking. He was like, "Yo, man, I'm gonna walk you into like I know a guy who runs his own agency. I'm not an agent anymore, but like I'll introduce you to the guy that can make something happen." Go in there, I get signed September 1st. By September 2nd and 3rd, I'm already doing auditions. I'm already getting booked. September 3rd actually, as when I had my first real audition. Already had gotten booked for something before that. September 3rd, I do my first audition. That's for Janelle Monáe's project. You know what I mean? Like, literally, like, the shit just started turning on very fast. Then the next week, I landed a Google ad. A Google global campaign that still hasn't even dropped yet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Ciroc commercial, fucking Fox.
This is like a month after you decided to pay your rent.
Bro, literally a month after, and the month of September, from working 10 days, I made $10,000 instantly. And then it kept going. So now I'm building my confidence.
You
now
had
it's like
set 10,000 as your number?
I set 10,000 as my number. Like something that I feel like I can reach. Good. Something that's like, you know what I mean? Because you know what? It wasn't that I set 10,000 as my goal.
Yeah.
What I set was, okay, because I've been getting like $300-$400 gigs, $600 sometimes $700, right? I'm like, man, let me get out of the 3 digits. I want to start making 4-digit numbers or sums during each of these things that I have to do. That's what I started with. And because I started doing these things that were all in the 4 digits, it started piling up to the point where, like, at the end of the month, I'm like, oh shit, I'm at the goal that I low-key wanted anyway. So it's like, now, okay. And then so started getting more clear about that list, or started looking at the list now of like how I want to feel. So I knew the things that I didn't want, and I knew the things I did want. So what I did want was to still have like freedom to be able to like go around. Like I didn't want to be in a cubicle. I knew I don't want to work in the office. But at the same time, I kind of wanted something that I could like dive into further. I wanted to like be powerful. These are the things that I'm thinking of. I wanted to be saucy, like all these different words that I'm putting out this shit.
Sauce, man. That's
but like I'm like the universe would know.
Sauce.
The universe would know. So then I get a phone call, like, hey man, I got an opportunity for you. I just left my gig. I'm over at Airbnb. We got this new thing. We're building out Airbnb concerts. Like I remember going to your show a few years ago. The shows that I used to do. This nigga ain't been in my shit since 3 years.
Yeah.
And he was like, yo, it's perfect for you. It's basically a freelance opportunity. You know, there's no office out there. You'll be working remote. You'll be essentially the key to the city when it comes to all these different unique events, and we're trying to make this the biggest thing since fucking sliced bread. You know what I mean? The new Live Nation of ticketing, like. And this is when I'm watching Defiant Ones and all this shit. I'm like really geeked about this shit. And it's perfect because now I'm newly signed, right? This shit is kind of flourishing. October 1st hits. That's when I get the job with Airbnb. So now I'm literally making all the money that I said that I want to make. Yeah. Like instantly. And
you're doing the things you want to do.
Yeah.
And less of the things you don't want to do.
Yes. And like, and so now it's like, okay, well, how do we go further into that? You know, kind of like just doing check-ins with just certain things. But if I had to say what the recipe was, 1 is acceptance, 2 is clearing space, clearing energy, centering the self. And then there was a very, well, let me not say very, because I wasn't very disciplined, but I was more disciplined when it came to my visualization, and really adamant about doing things that made me feel good with what was available to me at the time. And because like beauty is all around you at all times. You could step out into I don't care what. It could be snowing. Yeah. If you really look at snow falling, even if it's a blizzard, it's beautiful, yo. Like, it's beautiful. You know, this is California. It's beautiful. Right. So you don't need anything to be able to appreciate something. So I was like putting my space and just like appreciating everything. And that started blossoming. And then I started to really start gaining or becoming more clear about the things that I wanted, and started vocalizing that. Whether it be through paper, whether it be through affirmations. I started saying affirmations out loud. Every now and again, I wouldn't say like this was something I did all the time, but I would talk to myself in the mirror and really get myself hyped, like hyping myself up. Yeah. Saying I'm beautiful, saying I'm strong, that I'm deserving, that I'm worthy, that I have value. And yeah, man. So as things are going on now, that I'm looking in 2018, and I'm in a space where like, okay, like this is cool. Now I want more. Right. Now I want more.
What's your route to getting more though?
Happiness in the present.
How does meditation like play into that? What's your meditation schedule? Do you have like a morning like routine where you meditate and do all that stuff? What do you do?
No, cause my meditation comes in the form of like just being present, because like and meditation is good because I go back to the breath, but it's almost that question of even with the going back down to, because it's a principle and not necessarily an action of what I did when I paid 2 months rent. With like, I'm in a space where I don't need to worry right now, and because I'm putting my space in that presence of like, yo, right now, if you had $1 million in the bank account and you felt that, like, you just like, yo, I do have $1 million in my bank account, you probably be chilling right now. Like, your body position, even in the most subtle way, would change up. And that is where everything is. It's feeling it in the present moment and staying in that space, or going back to that, even if you don't remember, like, or if you fall out of it, every time you do remember it, going back to it. So my room at that time looked very crazy because it almost looked like the movie Memento. Because I had a bunch of like different stay awake, up, smile, random shit. Like, so everywhere I looked, like where I put my keys at was a note. Where my computer was a note. Where I woke up was a note. Different things and I had to like change them up because when it came white noise, like I didn't even let me change it, you know, make it new again. But keeping myself in the present, keeping myself in the present, and when I'm in the present, that's when the meditation kicks in. It's like like getting into a space of like just peace and groundedness. When I'm around celebrities and shit, they're just so at peace. They could be crazy as fuck, but there's like a sense of like just you could tell that they're good.
Yeah.
You see Drake having fun and shit in pictures.
Yeah.
He's good.
Yeah.
And this is how I started to break it down. Like, okay, so if you're a billionaire, and I have $1 in my pocket, right? We're talking worth, right? You don't walk around with $1 billion on you.
Mm-hmm.
I might have the dollar in my pocket, you know what I'm saying? But like, as far as like what we're worth and what we value, it's really like a mental thing, because we don't. It might be a plastic card, but we're creating the value in our mind. So like, to me, it was like, okay, well, if I could get my space to believe or like feel better, and better and better and better, I can eventually get myself to a space where I can too have that, because it's just the matter of, you know, and man, another thing I think, not even I think, I know, is like doing, so I do emotional release therapy, and it's almost like a deep tissue massage, and the premise is that like our pain, especially as it relates to the back and different areas, are directly associated with emotional experiences that we're still holding on to.
So it's like that trauma.
It's like a trauma.
Yeah.
And the trauma's in the physical body. So the more that we can release that trauma, the more the lighter we feel. The lighter we feel, the brighter we are, because now in our interactions, especially in our human interactions, we no longer have whatever it was that was holding us back in that moment. That whatever that fear was, or whatever that is, whatever that pain was, that wound is now gone. So then I can now flow freely. So in auditions, and I think this is exactly what it was, because I was in such a space where I was feeling so good. When I was walking into the auditions, that was showing. Whereas everybody else, I was noticing, was kind of in their heads, they're nervous because they're thinking about something else. I had already hyped myself up so much before that, that when I'm walking in, I'm like, I'm just having fun at this point. I don't really care. Like, I'm like, yo, that's the model. I seen that nigga before. In my head, I'm like, oh, this is crazy. I'm really on an audition right now. All the motherfuckers here. Like, all the Instagram famous people are here right now. This is wild, yo. You know, but it's like, well, shit, I'm here too. You know, and it was kind of like that. Like, not taking nothing against them. I know myself. And
so how do you do that? Like, not be competitive to the detriment. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm competitive, but like, how do you not be like, man, fuck them, I'm better than them?
Because like,
that audition. Cause,
well, with that particular audition, I knew it was for me because of the description of what they wanted for the lead role. It was saying, yeah, we need a Basquiat / Maxwell. Literally, I'm like, yo, there was no other way. I know I got this one. I know I got this one. And I didn't even actually really get it. I got casted as an extra, and then they called me the night before, and it ended up I moved to the next role, and then they didn't really want me throughout the whole project, but then they wanted to. So I kept on just getting into now the place now, like now we all cool, and now like they text me and shit, like now we cool. But what was, I don't even remember what the competitiveness. I mean even when it started, it was like a genuine appreciation for the other person. So it's not like it's not like I'm lying to myself, like you not fly. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm saying you not fly, then I'm like bruh, like, you know what I mean? Like like it was just more of like I see you, but at the same time, like even in the audition, like because that particular one, we had to do something where we had to kiss a girl or whatever. Like we had to kind of interact, and then it ended with a kiss. And so I'm looking, I see that she's excited to be with me. So it's like, even in the space, like I know that I'm still attractive. I still got the juice. Like I've been had the juice from whenever, you know what I mean? Whatever the juice is, whatever I guess the confidence is. So it was kind of like revalidated in that moment and still reciprocated in that moment, and I'm reciprocated with everybody else, and I just feel so good that I'm like giving people compliments and shit. Like niggas is asking me for hair. What you put in your hair, bro? Fucking no, nigga. Like, shit grow like that. You don't know. But I remember going through that process and being and doing it in a way where I'm like, yo, I'm going to know how I did this shit.
Yeah.
And that was
like
literally the steps. It was very methodical. And so now it's like, okay, I'm here. I don't want to get complacent.
Right.
And then, but like when it comes to like working for somebody, the fear for me now is like, oh, I don't want to do shit to fuck up that check. So that's where everybody gets caught up in with not wanting to leave the comfort of the corporations and jumping and following their own dreams.
Right.
But it's like going back into that space where you block everything out. And if you know the truth, because it doesn't matter what anybody else feels, you have to know it.
Yeah. And
if you could get yourself in a space where you don't have to be crazy disciplined. You ain't got to meditate 20 hours a day. You know what I mean? You just really have to believe certain things. Just certain things. And if you can focus on those certain things and then like, get yourself to a space where you believe those certain things, you can change your whole situation. So like I did it in one aspect where like now, like I said, like I'm not shit before. Whatever, fuck before. Now, nigga, where we going in 2 weeks to hop on? I don't care what the ticket costs. We going to Europe? Where we going? I'm trying to be out of LA. And I could legitimately have those conversations. Whereas when we was first talking about Bali, you saw me quiet, nigga.
All right, man.
If I put down $10 a week from now, calculate. Man.
Yeah.
But now it's good. So like, because I told myself I was gonna be here. Now it's like shit.
But like the whole time, what I peeped was like you were doing like the videos, you were doing dope ass photography, getting better. Like even when you was feeling like shit, you was still doing dope work.
Yeah, and that's like, that was like my fuck you to society almost, because I've always felt creative, and I feel like I was never given the credit for being creative. Even with the shows that I was putting on, I don't feel like anybody was really seeing
the art
life,
that you did,
how I saw it.
Yeah.
You know, so like having a camera and being able to like take a picture and like, yo, this is what the fuck I see. I know y'all like it because this is how I see the world. This is my perspective,
right? And
I feel like my perspective is dope.
Yeah.
So like being able to tap more into that and kind of stretch myself and surprise myself when it came to that was just literally me working on me out loud in front of everybody as art, you know, and doing that is what actually got me comfortable in front of the camera. Yeah, you know, even though I was technically behind the camera, I had to be the actor because I had to set it up on the tripod and act out this thing in my imagination, which then got me a lot of buzz. Yeah. Which is the craziest part about it all. So it's like, there's a lesson in there somewhere. Yeah.
And that was crazy because it was like popping on Blavity, and then I ain't even posted though. Like the first one I posted, and I put a couple more in the coffer, and I put a couple in there, and then it started being like boom. He was like, "Yo, good luck," and I was like, "I ain't even do that one."
But that is worse. That is also a starting place in it too. You know what I mean? Like that was also a catapult into that new energy of like.
Cause you had hella likes on that shit. It was like breaking the internet.
I remember that one got me like, and granted, it's not a lot to some people. I was talking to Ryan Brown earlier today, and she about to be on Empire, a recurring role. Okay. And she was talking about this to this other girl, like, yeah, man, when I did Empire, man, I got 200,000 followers in a day. So when I say this, it's like there's ballers out there looking at this shit. You know what I mean? So I'm proud of my baby steps. But I got 200 followers within a day.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Which was a lot.
That's a lot.
Which was a lot, you know. But yeah, man, like. But even with that shit, because that happened well before the depression aspect.
Yeah, because I stopped that in April or so.
Yeah. Because, like, nothing came of that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm over here like, I'm this person. And this happens, it's like,
You didn't really believe it.
That's all it is.
You had to take the time to believe it.
Yeah. Yep. So it's just doing things. So right now, it's like, okay, well, I clearly believe the $10,000 a month as range is like where I'm comfortable right now. How far can I go?
Right.
How far can I go?
Yeah.
There's people making more, so it's possible.
Yeah. But then at the end of the day, it's like $120,000 salary. There's people who, you know, they're engineers and they might do the same thing. They're actually bored because they're more intelligent than their job, and they're making $150. You know, so
and so that's the thing about it, because like, and that when it comes down to the imagination, like, yeah, you can imagine having $150,000, but like, that's not really the feeling that you want to feel. The feeling comes from, what are you gonna have? Like, so right now it's like, oh shit, a fly spot, you know, for me, of fly ass relationships, us having this conversation in Amsterdam, because she taking us to all the spots because she been there before, you know, like, that's really, so in order to do that, have that conversation, this kind of conversation, we so comfortable, my nigga, we not worried about work, we not worried about the same shit.
We've been here all day.
Because we've been here all day. We ain't checking our phones, my nigga, because we got... So there comes a certain lifestyle change that will happen as a result of us feeling that way. And sometimes things need to get shaken up in order for that to be able to manifest itself in the way that you said that you wanted.